Well, greetings and welcome. No intro music. I'm doing it live straight from the slideshow. This is about my garden design process. This is for a client of mine called Dan. I promised him weeks ago that I'd put this together just to give him an overview of the different stages of my design process and the pricing as well, so you kind of get a picture of it. So without further ado, this is the outline for today. It's only going to be a few minutes. The first thing is the philosophy about forest gardening, what a forest garden is, and my kind of approach to forest garden design. And then I'll be going through the 4 different stages with the costings for them as well. So the forest garden philosophy. Oopsie, let's get that site survey, having a look at surveying the whole site and then creating online notes. Sketch design is the kind of more detailed overview of the different design, the different elements of the garden, and providing costings as well. A detailed CAD plan. This is like the detailed kind of actual plant design, from the canopy layer right the way down to the basis perennials and ground cover, and then finally the plant spreadsheet where you tie everything together with a full list of suppliers and costings and a schedule and kind of ongoing management as well. So that's the outline for today. So forest garden philosophy. I won't go into much detail, just to say that forest garden, if you've got this far, forest garden really is about sustainable garden design and edible crops. So you're working with nature to grow edible crops, which is a subtitle of Martin Crawford's book, Creating a Forest Garden. And it's a wildlife garden by design. The whole idea is that you're creating edible ecosystems. So what people tend not to realise is that it can be an ornamental garden too, that you can have quite ornamental features, quite regular shapes and textures and different materials, which actually makes it better in terms of habitat too, by using different materials. But it can be ornamental, and I think this is really, really important. I like to use native plants where possible. The whole reason for this is that they provide more food and support a wider range of wildlife, and that primarily is about providing food for invertebrates and habitat as well, I hasten to add. And then this is where the native wildflowers come in. So much of garden design really is about the positioning of plants and of features and the interrelationship between them and people and wildlife. And you can use, with some thought, you can use as a restricted palette of native wildflowers, and you can still have colour and it can still be beautiful across the year. But this is where the design side comes in. You've got to be thinking about it, but you can have it. It can be aesthetically very, very pleasing. So that's the kind of philosophy behind my forest garden design. It's going to go on to the overview. So it's in 4 different stages. The first stage is a full site survey. This can either be online or it can be on site. I like to do it on site really because you kind of get more detail, get a feel of the place. But to be honest, I've done like a 2-acre walled garden up in Scotland, and I did that online and then went on site to mark it up, which was a strange experience. But either I'll go there and take lots of photographs, or the client provides lots of photographs and videos and basic measurements. And I can use satellite imagery as well, just to get an idea, a sense of the boundaries of the land. And this is providing an overview of the ideas, the general direction of the project. And you get a written report with kind of ideas about main pathways, main kind of planting suggestions and use of different areas, plus a CAD outline plan, which is just kind of an outline of the boundary of the property and the kind of basic, the essential features like that, the house, for example. And then also I generally do a schematic diagram as well, which you can just about see up there. And this gives a flow of the different footpaths and defining the different areas, but very much like an overview of it. And all these are provided online as well, and that's for a bargain price of £600. Okay, so that's the first part, full site survey. The second part is the sketching the design. This is a sketch I did for Clifftop Garden, and it's an overview of the design. So really start getting into the nitty gritty of how the different areas relate to each other. And this is where I start working from the sketches, from the photographs, and I put together ideas in a spreadsheet. So I'll list plants without the reference, but just kind of different plant ideas and different plant ideas on a Pinterest board as well, and then put together a kind of whole garden quote, like an idea of how much all the fencing and any kind of walls and paths and features, how much they will cost as well. So you get a whole garden quote, a figure for how much it would cost to landscape, hard landscape, soft landscape the garden. And so that's the kind of sketch design stage, and then you get into the detailed CAD plan, and this kind of gets down to the nitty gritty of exactly which plants will be going where, and this includes the structural elements. So this is from the Clifftop Garden. There's a pergola here, and that you can see the paths, and then there's a fence. It's also the canopy layer, the kind of bigger trees, a strawberry tree, the shrub layer. There's a privet hedge down the back, herbaceous perennials. This is like all the plants, most of the plants here in the bed, with a couple of aronias, and then that includes meetings and revisions as well. So it'll include a kind of feedback meeting for the original ideas, and then going back and working the ideas up and making revisions to the CAD plan. And you get a detailed CAD plan that you can then present to a landscaper and say, this is what I want. And that's a lot of work. That's £2,000. And then finally, it's a detailed plant spreadsheet, and this is kind of wrapping everything up together. This is from the walled garden. You can see there's loads of plants in there, and this is links, reference links, so for the edible and other uses of the plant, from Plants for Future, and also the kind of botanical information about the plant as well, and where it's going, and which whether it's native or not native, how many invertebrates it supports, its dimensions, quantities, and then the pricing, and whether it's been ordered or not. So and extra notes as well. So it's fully referenced, the whole lot. Every single plant is referenced, and then kind of cross-referenced with the CAD plan as well. And then I kind of do the research for the suppliers, so you know where to buy the plants from, and giving all the costs and quantities. And then that ties in with a project schedule, which is when the work gets done and who's doing it, and overall garden management. So when to prune things, when to cut things back, when to plant things. So that's all tying up the project, so it's very much ready to rock and roll from that point on. You can hand it to a landscaper. You've got the CAD design, you've got the fully referenced plant spreadsheet, and then you can say, there you go, create it. I did actually just have a client who's done a garden down in Carmarthen, and they've done, I did them a sketch, basically, not even that really, it's just like an outline of the site. It was a small rear garden, and they've done a fantastic job. They've done all the hard landscaping and the planting themselves. So it depends what level you want to go at, whether you want the whole lot together or not. And if you do have it, for every stage that you commission, I take £200 off from the cost of the site survey. So if you commission the whole design process, the site survey is free. So that's £3,000 rather than £3,600. There we go. So hope that's useful, Dan. And thanks for watching. I'll keep this updated. This is just a little bit of extra info. Okay, thanks for watching. Cheers then. Bye.